Hi Beth, my name's Mari. I'm going to be your aide today. I'm here to help you with your range of motion exercises. Okay?
Okay.
All right, the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I've raised your bed up to a good working level and put the head of the bed flat. I've washed my hands already before I came into your room. I'm going to start your shoulder exercises now.
Okay.
I'm going to start with flexion and extension of the upper arm. Flexion and extension. Now I would roll your arm to your side so that I could do hyperextension of the shoulder. Now I'm going to do abduction and adduction. Abduction and adduction. Next, we'll do rotation of the shoulder. Outward rotation, inward rotation. Outward rotation, inward rotation. Always making sure that I have the upper arm at a 90-degree angle from the body. Next, I'm going to work on your elbow. Flexion, extension. Flexion, extension. We'll also do supination and pronation. Supination, pronation. Now we'll work on your wrist. I'll start with flexion, extension, and hyperextension. Flexion, extension, hyperextension. Then I will turn your hand and I will do radial flexion, ulnar flexion. Radial flexion, ulnar flexion. Radial flexion, ulnar flexion. Now I will work your thumb. Abduction, adduction. Abduction, adduction. Flexion, extension. Flexion, extension. I also will do opposition to the little finger. Now I will work your fingers. Abduction, adduction. Abduction, adduction. I will work each finger individually. Now I'm going to do flexion and extension of the fingers. Flexion, extension. Flexion, extension. All right, are you ready to work your leg now? Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to expose only one leg, and we'll start by working the hip. The first thing I'm going to do is flexion and extension. Flexion, extension. Then abduction, adduction. Abduction, adduction. Outward rotation, inward rotation. Outward rotation, inward rotation. Next, I will work the knee. Flexion, extension. Flexion, extension. Flexion, extension. Next, we move to the ankle. Plantar flexion, dorsal flexion. Plantar flexion, dorsal flexion. Plantar flexion, dorsal flexion. Inward rotation, outward rotation. Inward rotation, outward rotation. Next, we're going to work the toes. Abduction, adduction. Abduction, adduction. Working each toe individually. Then we will do flexion and extension of the toes. Flexion, extension. Flexion, extension.
Hi, my name is Eric. I'm an occupational therapist. Today we'll be demonstrating upper body dressing with my patient Scott. Scott had a left stroke and it's affecting his right side of his body. Okay, so I'm going to be introducing some compensatory methods to help him with his upper body dressing. Okay, how you feeling today, Scott?
I'm okay.
All right, good. So I know this is the very first time you've done this, so
Yes.
it might seem a little unfamiliar to you, but I'm going to teach you some techniques that will, assist you with your upper body dressing. Okay?
Yep.
So I'll go ahead and hand you this shirt.
Sure.
Very good. Okay, and what I want you to do is lay it with the front part of the shirt down on your lap, just like you have it.
Okay.
Go ahead and sprawl it out so it's a little easier to work with.
Yeah.
All right. And then here's the first rule of thumb. What we're going to do is you always want to put this right side or your right arm in the shirt before your left arm.
Okay.
So go ahead and try to use your left arm and work your right arm into the hole. Right? Kind of support you. Yep, keep working it up.
Okay.
And here's another important point, Scott. Go ahead and work this up almost past your elbow and up into your shoulder. This will allow you, once you get it on your other arm, to get it up over your head.
Okay. So you want me to just pull it up like this and kind of...
Perfect.
Okay.
Awesome. There we go. And I'll kind of hold it there for you. All right, go ahead and work the rest of the shirt into this arm. There you go. Good, Scott.
Okay. Now what do I do?
Keep working it up if you can.
All right.
There you go. That'll just allow you to get your head through the hole.
Let's see.
Okay, go ahead and grab right here.
All right.
That arm and get your head through the neck hole, okay? Wonderful. So as you can see, it's a little bunched up. Go ahead and try to work it out the best you can there.
How's it look?
Yeah, it looks good. Does it feel comfortable, Scott?
It does.
Good.
It's
Good.
good.
As Scott's occupational therapist, I want to make sure that he feels confident and ready with his upper body dressing prior to returning home. Hi, my name is Eric. I'm an occupational therapist. Today we'll be working with Scott. Scott recently had a left hip replacement, okay? So upon initial evaluation, you really had mentioned that, being able to get your shoes on and off is super important to you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good. Well, some of these tools here, we refer to it as a hip kit, will allow you to do that, all right? So this one is gonna help us get our socks on and off.
Okay.
This long-handled sponge is gonna allow you to kind of reach your feet in the shower.
Perfect.
Right? We're gonna use these at a later time though.
All right.
So this is known as a reacher.
Okay.
And for today's purposes, we're gonna make sure that you can reach your shoe.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and grab your shoe and get that shoe in a position that you feel comfortable while still following your hip precautions that you can slide it in.
I can't lean forward, is
exactly.
that correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Okay. Now, the last thing that's going to kind of help you finish this up is the long-handled shoe horn. Okay?
Oh, great. I like this.
Go ahead and slide that in there.
Sure.
Perfect. Awesome.
Yep.
That was very good, Scott. So that entire time, I was watching to make sure that you followed your hip precautions.
Right here.
So Scott had mentioned upon evaluation that he wanted to be able to make sure he could dress himself. As his occupational therapist, I want to make sure that Scott has every opportunity to practice that, and so he can return home safely and feel comfortable with his lower body dressing.
Now I will show you how to properly transfer a patient using a slide board. This transfer can be used if the patient is not strong enough to stand, requires the use of a slide board due to paralysis, or is non-weight bearing due to a recent surgery or injury. Ask the patient how he or she usually transfers with the slide board. They will hopefully be able to tell you what works best for them. For your safety and the safety of the patient, always use a gait belt. The belt should be placed low around the patient's stomach at about the height of the belly button. Be careful to watch or ask the patient about any recent abdominal surgeries or colostomy bags. In those cases, you may have to place the belt higher or lower to avoid incisions or devices. Make sure the brakes of the wheelchair are locked and the leg rests have been swung out of the way or removed to avoid any possible skin tears or tripping hazards. Also remove the armrest from the wheelchair. Make sure the chair is at about a 45-degree angle to whatever surface you are transferring to. Have the patient lean to the side, away from the table you are transferring to, instructing the patient to lift the leg closest to the table. Slide the sliding board underneath the leg, ensuring that it is firmly placed underneath the patient. Have the patient redistribute their weight so that one leg is on the sliding board and one is on the chair. Explain to the patient exactly what you plan to do and what you need from them. It is important that you instruct the patient not to place their fingers underneath the sliding board, as this would cause them to pinch their fingers. Stand in front of the patient with a hand on either side of the gait belt. Squat to use your legs to help the patient slide across the board. Do not twist your back. On the count of 3, help slide the patient slightly onto the board. At the next count of 3, slide again until the patient is safely on the table. Have the patient lean again to remove the board from underneath their bottom. Make sure the patient is safely on the table and remove the gait belt.
When placing a resting hand splint, you always want to check the patient's skin to make sure there's no redness or other skin integrity issues. So always place the patient's hand and do the middle strap first, securing the position of the hand. Following application of the straps, you always want to make sure that they're not too tight or not too loose. I use a 2-finger rule, so this one might be a little too loose. Just go back and tighten it up. Also, with the splinting wear schedule, it should always be on the back of a patient's door, and there should be pictures showing exactly what the patient's arm should look like in the splint.
This is just to show how you may use some ambulatory assistive devices correctly with your resident. If the resident has a cane, they are going to put the cane on their strong side. And we've indicated this by the A strap, so this is the weak side. The A strap would be underneath their clothing, but we've left it on top just so we can remember for the video that this is their weaker side. So as the CNA, I'm going to put my fingertips up in the gait belt and stand a little bit to the weak side and a little bit behind. So the resident will step with their strong foot and then go forward with the cane and the weak foot at the same time to use that for support. Keep your head up. Okay, you can come back. If the resident has a 4-point cane, we want to make sure that the straight sides are next to the resident so they don't trip on the points. So and forward. Strong side, yep, and use the cane for support. Okay. A 4-point walker is for a resident that takes smaller steps and doesn't walk very quickly, but that determination will be made by the physical therapist, and the type of walker you should be in the care plan. So again, I'm going to stand behind and on the weak side. Go ahead and move with your walker. Keep your head up. There we go. Okay, you can come back. Then we have a 2-wheeled walker. So for those that can move a little quicker, it has wheels in the front. These are the ones that sometimes you see the tennis balls on the back so they don't drag on the floor. So that you can move a little faster with this 2-wheeled walker. Okay. And then lastly, we have the 4-wheeled walker. For those that are fairly mobile. The thing with the 4-wheeled walker, it also has brakes. So typically those push down so the resident can kind of lean on that, and when they're ready to walk, they'll release the brakes. So we would keep those locked while they're standing up and I'm getting it in place. Okay, you can take your brakes off, Annie, and then walk forward. And I'll push down. And if the resident wants to sit, make sure the brakes are locked. That's a good plan if they need to rest for a moment, but you will never wheel anybody around in a walker. It's just not quite safe enough, not as stable as a wheelchair.